All right, man. I know I wasn't gonna leave y'all hanging on 4th of July, so I had to sit down and find a story. A few stories I got, so we gonna triple it up on the 4th of July. I think Clutch Points they have originally put this article out. Let me see if I can find the original article by Clutch Point. Uh, but apparently more Kevin Durant news. So the interesting thing about it is, it seemed like Durant is. At one point, it was believed that he was available. Everybody was available, but a man Thompson. Then it came up about that maybe he isn't so available. Right now, this can be trying to drive the price up. The Rockets were having a fire sale apparently, and I think if they really were having a fire sale, you probably would be seeing the fact that that the coach probably be gone. But Pistons rumors inside labels Kevin Durant as Detroit's top target. If the Rockets ever put Kevin Durant on the block, the Pistons will be the first ones online to acquire him. So that's the funny thing about it. There was a rumor going out there that he was on the block. You know what I'm saying? It was a rumor out there that he was on the block. Everybody was on the block, and I said say that loosely. It was a rumor. Not named. Everybody was on the block, not named Amen Thompson, right? So apparently now that's pretty much starting to change. That's starting to change. So ultimately, it seemed like the Pistons are kind of going down that list, but fortunately enough, they missed out for whatever reason that situation is. They missed out on what was the dude's name? CJ McCollum. That they could have just made that deal at the trade deadline. I believe Brian Windhorst said something central. Said the Pistons could have struck at the deadline. And Trajan Langdon is now kind of showing how much of a novice he is. Because it seemed like they struck out on McCollum, they struck out on Norman, they struck out on not Norman, but Norman Powell. Austin Reeves, Tyler Hero, they struck out on a number of guys. Down that list, and we don't even know the guys that they struck out. We don't even know the guys that they tried to get, but struck out on. It could be way more than that. But so right now is if Kevin Durant is available. The NBA offseason has already been in full surprise. Several trades, accusations, that may not see coming. Jaylen Brown, woo. Before that trade, there was a three-team idea that would have involved Detroit Pistons and the Rockets. Kevin Durant would have been sent to the Pistons through. That never panned out. The Pistons are still looking at Durant as the top trade target, according to Brett Siegel, Clutch Points. Two league sources with knowledge of the situation told Clutch Points that the Pistons were set on figuring out a path to land Durant, but nothing has materialized in the three-team idea, nor did anything appear possible in a brief discussion with Houston, Siegel wrote. Perhaps the greatest detail emerged from all of these rumors is that Durant has interest in playing alongside Pistons star Cade Cunningham, sources said. And we know him and Kyrie fuck with him. But apparently what is being said right now, there's no path. There's no path for them giving them up, So, like I said, for Trey Murphy, they talking about 3 first-round picks. Here, they talking about this. So, and there's other avenues which I'm going to talk about in another video. Not sure if it's going to be a Piston-heavy Sunday. I at least have one video on mine. Probably do two uploads tomorrow. So, in general, I mean, basically, I just give you my synopsis of the situation. If you really want to know how, my opinion is that they trying to drive the price up. See, there's no direct competitors to get Kevin Durant. So in order to drive that price up, we really ain't trying to trade him. We really don't want to trade him. They trying to drive that price up. They trying to get as much leverage as possible. And you got to remember, Kevin Durant is 37 years old, probably 38. So what's so also important about this whole situation with KD is that for the Pistons is that you need to get Ibuka Corey up to speed expeditiously. So yeah, KD be 38 September 29th. So in reality, regardless as you went with CJ McCollum or you had went with Norman Powell, you would have or Kyrie Irving, in general, you would have needed more time. I mean, you would have had more, you would have more time with, we think just going by age with those players to develop Ibuka Corey. You would have had more time to do that. With Kevin Durant, you lucky to have a season, maybe 2 seasons. You know what I'm saying? In order for that to happen. See that window with Trey Murphy, really, Trey Murphy, John Collins, you can really enter, you can move. If you don't like John Collins this season, you can go ahead and move Trey Murphy to that 4 spot, or that it's just an additional small 4 spot, and then you can move Ibuka Corey in there. But regardless of what people understand, Ibuka Corey, if they don't make a move, Ibuka Corey is pretty much going to have to play. Especially even more in this scenario now, with Kevin Durant, because you're really gonna low manage him throughout the season. He's gonna have to play, because at the end of the day, you struck out on all the guards. Now there's other avenues which I'm gonna talk about, but you struck out on all the guards. So right now, even with Kevin Durant, you can't afford not to play Ibuka Corey. That's what I'm saying. And you got people in the comment section saying, well, you don't know what he got. And I'm like, hey, bro, you took a chance on the shot creator. And let's say you do get Kevin Durant. He's still a top 4 shot creator on the team, especially depends on who you get rid of to make the Durant trade happen. And then also when you look at the Durant trade, you have to ask yourself, what's the difference between me trading for Kevin Durant and Trey Murphy? And that's the thing about it. If it's a significant difference, then you go ahead and do it. But if it's close, the asking price for Durant and the asking price for Murphy, if it's close, you might as well just go with the younger guy. But do you want Kevin Durant in your locker room? And I've said that before. Do you want that in your locker room? In general, if they roll the dice with what they got now, and I've been saying it, they might as well start Ibuka Corey. Fuck it. You might as well start him. You might as well get him. You might as well just do that. Give people a little bit of a hope. Give your team a chance that he can develop. But in this situation, with Durant, you're going to need to play Ibuka Corey. So it's 2. Without Durant or nobody else coming, you got to play him. And they're not going to play him. I'm telling you. If they got rid of Sasser just to put him in the position Sasser was in, man, I really think we need to start looking at this organization a little bit differently. If that's what they believe in, that they got 2-3 years to develop Ibuka Corey, and you get Kevin Durant, or you don't make another move at all, they in trouble. They in trouble in my opinion. They're in a lot of trouble, but that's just my opinion on it. But in general, Kevin Durant is a solid fit for them. It's a temporary fit. It was a lot more permanent options there, whether it was Powell, McCollum before he went back to Atlanta, McCollum when they could have got him at the trade deadline, Austin Reeves, Tyler Hero. But, kind of you could have said, hey, if we got Austin Reeves and Tyler Hero, maybe, we didn't need, maybe that would have changed their terms on going to get Ibuka Corey, because you would have had to pay them. So, I mean, they put themselves in a position where, maybe it's some free agents that can go out there and make it happen. But in general, anytime you start to hear rumors, because Pistons never came out and said it, anytime you start to hear rumors and big names with any Detroit sports teams, just know 9 times out of 10 it's not going to happen. That's why the Rasheed Wallace was a big shock to everybody when they did it, because they don't do things like that, right? So in general, the Pistons really could have set themselves apart from the rest of the Eastern Conference via domination. They could have, and they didn't. And in general, a lot of people be like, damn, you got rid of Isaiah Stewart for this? That's one thing they're going to have to contend with, too. They got rid of Isaiah Stewart for this? If they don't add a Kevin Durant, they struck out on Kawhi. If they don't add that significant piece, and then also we're going around with you got rid of Isaiah Stewart, and didn't do much with that money, to be honest with you. It's gonna be like, dog, y'all could have got Jaylen Brown. You could have got Jaylen Brown, and don't let the 76ers do anything semi-dangerous next year. That's going to be the narrative. So is they really trying to win? Yeah. But hit the link in the description. Follow me on X, Facebook, Kick, Twitch, Instagram. Say find me everywhere in the description. Appreciate the love, support. Peace.